welcome to you guys to this small video presentation of DIMO. So we have here with us today Yevgeny and Andy. Maybe we can start off with a very small presentation of who is behind DIMO.
Sure. So I'm Andy. I'm the one on the left there. I started DIMO as a product studio and consulting firm about a year and a half ago, and have been incubating some projects and working with a number of companies in the mobility and IoT space, and linked up with the other three co-founders on this slide here over the last few months, and we've been developing a product that we're very excited about. Yev joined our team most recently as CTO, and I'll let him tell his background, and then we can give the other two co-founder stories as well.
Great.
So as Anya said, my name is Yevgeny. I'm the CTO of the company. I come from 10 years of working with automotive manufacturers to essentially help them connect their cars to the internet and enable user experiences that a connected device like a car can provide. So I've worked with Ford, GM, Volkswagen, and Mitsubishi, and have dealt with a lot of scaling problems in that space, and now interested in moving this functionality over to Web3.
Awesome.
Yeah, and our other two co-founders who aren't on the call today, Alex and Rob, both come from a pretty deep Web3 background. They also have, in Rob's case, he worked for an automotive retail company called Vroom.com as well, and Alex has experience in the IoT space, as well as having worked for Chainalysis and at a startup incubator. So broad experience in startup mobility and cryptocurrency and Web3 as well.
So what is DIMO? What is DIMO, and why did you actually had the idea to build on top of Streamr?
Yeah, so before we get into the what, it's helpful to understand the why. And the team behind this project is very interested in creating what we call a solar punk future, not a cyberpunk future. We see a lot of innovation in the digital realm that's being focused on virtual worlds, and the metaverse is kind of the buzzword of the day today. And we're interested in using Web3 technologies and IoT and robotics to make the real world better. And we think there's some pretty clear ways to do that. One of the things that has come along in the last couple of years, the token incentivized model for building some IoT networks. And this slide is actually likely out of date, because in the case of Helium, they're now over 300,000 devices on their network, and have built decentralized telecom service really out of nothing in the last couple of years. And we took a look at that and said, you can do that for the mobility world as well, and that would have some really nice properties to it. One of the problems we're interested in solving is how to aggregate data from different types of vehicles and use it to produce some analysis about a really important problem. And one of the most important problems of our generation is how to electrify transportation. Right now, we're about at this point in the graph in terms of battery electric vehicle adoption and battery production. And all of the OEMs, automakers out there are making investments that are going to take us to here. And so along the way, we're expecting to see many more problems like the battery fires, recalls that have happened in the last year. And we think with better data and information for not just consumers, but the companies that produce these batteries, we can make better decisions around how to allocate money to producing batteries. And there's a lot of other nice properties as well. If you can convince people to hook up their cars to an IoT platform that lets them basically own their own data and provide it to developers for whatever purpose they'd like. So our model is you enroll your vehicle. You can do that today at app.dimo.zone. You connect your car. Today, there's some very basic ways that you can do that. And then over time, we're developing applications and a reward system to pay people for their data. And this will work for both individual consumers and for fleets. Our goal is really to produce transactions on the platform that make vehicle ownership cheaper, easier, more flexible for users. So a lot of people are familiar with the smart car insurance programs in the US. We have Metro Mile and services like Lemonade that involve a plug-in dongle. You attach it to your car, you get a discount on your car insurance. We think there's quite a bit of other functionality out there that can be built both for consumers and fleets, you know, and eventually also for the public sector on an open platform that allows people to, you know, essentially collect and use the data from their vehicles as they want. Another important use case is figuring out what happens when cars are driving themselves. This is a problem that both Yev and I have experienced in the real world, where yes, it might look like in this case that you know, this guy pulling out into the lane is at fault here, but when you zoom in, the car probably should have started slowing down here, and it definitely should have started slowing down here, and it didn't. So being able to collect this data and store it in a neutral platform is going to be super important, not just today when, you know, cars are driving around producing lots of data, but especially in the future when they're driving around and making safety critical decisions that, you know, impact people's lives. So I'll let Yev jump in and talk about, you know, what exactly DIMO is on a more technical level, and I'm going to drive the slide, so just let me know when you want me to flip through.
So here we have a high-level overview of what DIMO is. So we're offering the customer two ways to add their vehicle. One is via the login that they already have from their connected car, and the second one is an aftermarket product. And we're partnering with a couple of different companies. First one being a company called AutoPie, and the AutoPie provides several features that the OEM API does not. So the biggest one is we have an actual Ethereum wallet on the device itself, and we use that to sign all the data as it leaves the vehicle, and it provides authenticity. It obviously also has Bluetooth, accelerometers, GPS, and essentially everything we need to integrate with a vehicle and provide features that don't exist today.
Okay, seems really great. Is there something else to add on this, or I see that there's a last slide?
Yes. So so this is kind of a very high level overview of the technical direction and the technical stack for DIMO. So to build any kind of a connected IoT product, you really need a few different pieces. But the key ones being, you know, you need publish and subscribe functionality, and you need ability to store data. And you know, what we're doing here is we're using a distributed ledger essentially to store the DIMO tokens, the you know, the NFT of the device itself, any trip NFTs that the users created, and all of that data is getting stored on distributed storage. So that is Filecoin, IPFS, and we plan to support other solutions in the future. And above that, we have, you know, our DIMO proprietary, you know, smart contracts that everybody will be able to use to kind of change how their user experience with their vehicle. So things like smart car insurance, maybe being able to rent a car on the DIMO platform via the smart contract. And, you know, we plan to use the graph for indexing a lot of the on-chain data. We have partnered with two companies in the space, so, you know, primary one being Streamr, that's for PubSub. And, you know, Streamr's architecture is really great for streaming data from a lot of different devices. And the AutoPie that we have will actually be running a Streamr node fully on the AutoPie device. And we're working with Ceramic to provide users their distributed identity. And, you know, above this, we have our apps. So we're going to have our data union. We are going to have obviously our wallet on the user's phone. We have some applications such as Signal that we'll be building to help the ecosystem provide more data and more accurate data. And, you know, obviously starting off with AutoPie, but more and more integrations to come via an open hardware specification that we plan to release late next year.
Okay, seems really awesome. I see that there's a lot of things going on. Can we know a little bit more about the roadmap? Because where are you today at with the roadmap, and what are the goals for the next months to come?
So today we've launched our sign up. So you people can actually log in today and add their vehicle. And once they've logged in, we will start sending them their hardware devices and allowing them to actually log in via their car provider, which will kick off this sort of the initial flywheel that we have set up here to get better data for people and make the ecosystem grow. I'll let Andy jump into a little bit more of this flywheel.
Yeah, sure. So we're really just getting started, and we've been able to kind of pull together the first steps, which involve, you know, kind of framing out this token incentivized ecosystem, and also building a way for people to very quickly and easily add their vehicle to the platform. Over time, we're going to add a way for OEMs, which is automakers and also device makers like AutoPie, to earn the tokens themselves by making it easier to integrate and to pull data off of their devices. And we're also providing grants and using the token as a way to incentivize developers to build on the platform, whether that's an individual developer that wants to build an app that lets you mint your road trip or your drag race as an NFT, or a more enterprise type of developer that would be interested in deploying a smart car insurance or an electric utility integration on the platform. And the idea is that initially the token is the main reason to sign up and add your car, and that's something that allows you to have some ownership over the network. And then over time, there's actually quite a bit of utility that you get out of plugging your vehicle in, and people will sign up, just to get utility out of using the connected vehicle apps and services.
Okay, great. Yeah, this seems really. Can't wait to be able to use this. Is this something that you are today already using yourself, like in a beta test or those kind of things?
Yeah, totally. I have running two DIMO nodes in each of my cars, or one in each of my two cars, and we've also been experimenting and sending out the initial set of miners. I wish I had one with me here today, but I just sent it out to another beta user, and by the end of the year, we're going to be somewhat fully stocked with a few hundred miners that will be able to ship out to people that sign up for and add their vehicle to the platform today. So if you're somebody that's interested in checking out DIMO, you should go to app.dimo.zone and add your car. And we're going to be, over the next couple of weeks, adding a number of different ways to connect your car without hardware. So many people that have an active connected vehicle subscription will be able to just simply log into their car and start pulling some limited data. And that's something that we're going to expand on over time.
Okay, great, awesome. I will make sure to be able to put as well the link in the description directly so the people can join easier. Maybe we can talk about a little bit about the technical direction that you're as well going in at the moment.
Sure. Yeah, but what are the priorities there for you these days? You have quite a full plate.
We're building in all directions all at the same time, but the biggest thing that we're trying to I guess finalize is our data pipeline. So and trying to figure out how to make it more decentralized. One of the toughest gaps is there is a way for me to move the data in a distributed way, but there is still not a great way for me to easily also in a distributed way store it at the same time. And initially that's going to be a little bit of a bottleneck that DIMO will solve. Hope eventually we're going to move away from that model. In terms of the contracts, we're starting to get into creating essentially the NFT contracts for device ownership. So the idea is, when you add your car, you'll be able to get a car NFT, and all of the data that comes in for that vehicle will get attached to that NFT. There's a lot more that we're building, but those are the two issues that at least I'm handling today. So there's a lot to build here. We essentially have 10 years worth of work here, and it's going to take some time to get it all figured out. But the important thing is to get this, into people's cars and let them start to, own their data and start creating our ecosystem.
I know also that you're building something for the DAO. Can we have like a little bit of chat about DAO maybe as well?
Sure. Yeah. So Rob from our team unfortunately couldn't be here today, but he has spent quite a bit of time over the last few years designing different distributed organizations, and he's done quite a good job of kind of thinking through the platform that we're building and then mapping it to the right governance structure. This diagram, we don't have to go into all of the details here, but we've borrowed quite a bit from some of the existing sort of best-in-class DAOs that have been formed as far as breaking out into sub teams, separating out kind of the sort of operational side from the governance side, and allowing consumers and folks that are actually using the data that's being collected by the platform to have their incentives aligned with the folks that are providing data into the platform. So one thing that's unique about what we're doing is there's a staking pool that is basically established and filled up by folks that are using data on the platform. So the same way, or I guess in a better way than you might have a relationship with a platform you share data with today. If somebody's building an application on DIMO, they have to stake some of the tokens, and if they end up getting hacked or compromising your privacy or using the data in an inappropriate way, that token that they've staked can be distributed to the users that were impacted, rather than having to go through courts and long litigation processes. We've kind of baked that into the protocol, and that's one example of how we think the distributed and Web3 model is going to be the right way to build an IoT platform in the future, and we're making sure that the DAO is set up to facilitate that on day one, and also be flexible enough to get updated in the future as the technology and the ecosystem changes.
Okay, and would you like to add as well maybe something about the token, about the token of DIMO later on?
Sure. Yeah. So we're trying to think about this. The token is certainly something that people ask us a lot about, and we're baking it into the project as a way to incentivize and make sure that early adopters have some governance rights and ownership over the platform. And we're also setting it up as a way for larger enterprises and equipment manufacturers and application developers to have their incentives and ownership aligned over the data that users are providing and the connectivity as well. And to make that more tangible, there's one of the things that we've seen go wrong with a lot of the sort of IoT data sharing or connected vehicle projects that involve multiple different automakers, for example, is that one always feels like they have to have the upper hand on the other, and in our case, we're quite interested in making sure that the token model can be used to kind of frame out the right rule system so that everybody can feel like they understand where they stand in the ecosystem and what they can do to move things forward. And so we're making it very clear, if you're providing value, if you're making it easier for users to connect their vehicles to the platform and provide data, then you can earn more tokens. And it kind of hopefully removes a lot of the political issues and coordination challenges, and allows people to focus on doing what's right, which in our case we think is providing data in kind of a neutral and clear way that everybody understands.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we're very excited to follow up, of course, DIMO, this product, because there's a lot of great stuff coming out. Last thing that we can maybe just add is, where can we find a little bit more about DIMO? Do you have some social platforms, something at least for the people where they can follow up and have a little bit more details?
Yeah, we're on Twitter, and we are building and releasing new features every week on app.dimo.zone, and you can also jump into our Discord, the easiest way to find out what we're up to, and you don't actually even have to go and add your own vehicle today. You can get signed up, you can get a referral code, you can find folks who are interested in joining the platform, and so yeah, that's the easiest way to get involved. Probably Twitter, add your car, number one, and get on the Discord and check out what we're building. We also have a bunch of documentation that we're starting to release. Our team is four co-founders, and then about 20 additional people working on the project in one way or another on any given day, and so there's a lot of different ways to get involved, and we're going to be growing this thing and figuring out better ways to tell the story about what we're doing. Perfect.
Then I guess we will be able to close this video very soon. But first of all, thank you very much for taking a little bit of time and explaining what DIMO is. And we're very excited to follow up for the next month and then maybe even the next years, how things will go for you guys.
Yeah, we're going to be at this for a long time.
Yeah, we hope so. And of course, if there's any questions in the comments, we will be happy also to answer them and to put you in relationship directly with the team of DIMO. But for now, thank you very much for taking time with us, and I wish you guys a perfect day.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony.
Bye.
Bye-bye.